Mind you that Loka is beautiful. She is very, very beautiful, but this show treated her as if she wasn't cute like her two friends were. Like I said, her name alone is just a problem, okay? Loka means crazy, if you guys are not familiar with that, by the way. Her name alone is an issue.
What you know about rolling down in the deep end? I have depression.
Why are y'all crooked? Okay, don't worry. It was something under my tripod and I started freaking out. I was like, why is my thing crooked? Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna and I'm back with another video. Welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Carrie Hook's pirate ship. Always remember, I am the captain. You are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because nobody is worthy of being the first mate. Hello, my name is Harriyanna. This is your first time ever seeing me. I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. If I look weird and you can't see me, I am so sorry. I'm still trying to get this lighting figured out because you guys know this is like my new setup. And if you're wondering where I've been all week, I'm sorry. Your girl is having a bad episode and I have not had the energy to do anything. And I just got like a random burst of energy today because I found out I don't have to go to work tomorrow. So I'm gonna get my stuff done in this one day that I feel well. We love that. I turned on another light. It probably didn't do anything. It did not, but I know, let's just get back on topic, okay? I know that my comment section is going to be ugly for this one because it's either going to be full of people being angry, as you should, because this is a problem, and then it's also going to be filled with people telling me that it ain't that deep because it's a kid's show, or they think that there is nothing wrong with That's So Raven, and I digress. You guys are frustrating, and you're one of those, just shh. Like, it's just very, very freaking frustrating because we are going to be talking about That's So Raven, as this show did have a great impact on the black community in general, but the show got problems, okay? The show got problems like the Proud Family again. It had a great impact on the black community, but the show got freaking issues. Now, I did mention this in my long video I made about That's So Raven that nobody watched. We'll have that link down below. Okay, but I mentioned in that video about my overall opinion of the series is that this show does have a bit of a colorism problem. And it's not just a once or twice thing or whatnot. It's something that reoccurs throughout the series. And I'm going to sit here and debunk it and talk about it. Now, a bunch of people told me that this was not colorism. And you guys are very, very wrong. You guys are actually very, extremely wrong. This is colorism and we're going to sit here and debunk it, okay? We're gonna debunk it. As you guys know, today we are just gonna be discussing That's So Raven. And before we even just get there into the colorism thing, we need to address this big ass elephant in the room that comes to shows such as That's So Raven and the Proud Family, and even just like That's So Raven or the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, because I had this big problem too when I made my video about the misogynoir or the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, is that y'all need to stop acting as if your childhood shows are not open to criticism, okay? Because a lot of these shows, like I said before, have issues. Yes, they had a great impact on us as children and just the culture in general, but these shows have a lot of problems. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today we are going to be talking about Loka. If you're familiar with That's So Raven, you probably know who I'm talking about, but Loka was basically one of Raven's bullies in the show. There were 3 girls that was a part of this bully group. We had Loka, who was the tall, dark-skinned girl. We had Alana, who was the Latina girl. And then we had Muffy, who was the white girl. Later on, Alana ended up getting switched out with a light-skinned black girl named Bianca. So that's just like the background of those girls in that group right there. Now, Loka was the only recurring dark-skinned black girl on this series, as she was taller than her peers. Like, she was the tallest person here. It's kind of like that misogyny war that was going on with iCarly, where the black girl was not only very, very loud, very, very mean, she was a lot taller and a lot bigger than everyone. So as Loca was taller than all of her peers, it's so freaking weird, but like the team decided to use her height as an advantage when it came to her bullying people in the series, as she would constantly be towering over them as they did things that she didn't like. Like, anytime Raven would get smart with her or like try to stand up for herself or whatnot, Loca would like tower over her, or she was trying to throw herself at Eddie, and like, because you know Eddie had a crush. No, she had a crush on Eddie and he didn't like her at all. She would always tower over him so he couldn't get around her. Like, things like that. Anyway, and when Alana and Muffy were like being mean, I did mention this a bit in my Nesty Classified video, it was always passed off as like being cutesy and prissy. And Alana, that was to a certain extent because she did get aggressive, but Alana's character is just another problem within itself. But like I said, the main issue with Loca is that I went on like the Disney Wikia, because of the way people saw her. They had her labeled as one of Alana's slaves. Like, they literally called a black girl a slave. They also called Muffy a slave too, but it just really rubbed me the wrong way. That just was not right. And like I said, Alana's character is a problem too, as she is one of the few Latina representation that we have on That's So Raven, but she is portrayed to be as a bully and very, very aggressive from time to time. She wasn't aggressive like Loca was, but she would get ugly if she like did. You get what I'm saying? Loca was just very mean and pushing you. She would put her hands on you all the time, while Alana did it from time to time. So Alana being mean and aggressive, she was just seen as pushy and prissy and whatnot, and you can tell that guys had more of an interest in her and Muffy. But then Loca, on the other hand, guys didn't like her. They ran from her. Anyway, like, Alana's character is just so freaking weird, because I remember one point they were talking about she got kicked out of school and she got sent to military school because she was so bad. But I did need to touch on Alana's character though in this, because I can't talk about Loca's character without speaking about her either, because you know they're like one and the same. Even though colorism does not really affect Alana's character, racism does. We had to get that into that. Just because this is a black-led show does not excuse it from having racism in it. It's as if Loca was put in their friend group to make Muffy and Alana look good. Like I said, she was always just pushed to the front. They always put Alana and Muffy in the nicer looking outfits, and they always put Loca in the ugly outfits. That's just something that really always freaking bothered me. Like, some of her outfits were cute and then some of them were not, but it's just always obvious that they gave like the priority, the cuter, the better outfits to Muffy and Alana. It's like they treated Loca as if she were her Darren Duff. Like, it's just so freaking weird. And mind you, that Loca is beautiful. She is very, very beautiful, but this show treated her as if she wasn't cute like her two friends were. Like I said, her name alone is just a problem, okay? Loca means crazy, if you guys are not familiar with that, by the way. Her name alone is an issue. Like, she was just very, very loud, and she was very, very touchy and pushy. She would always be pushing people around, especially Raven, especially when she would invite herself into Raven's business and what like that. Like, the colorism of That's So Raven really reminds me a lot of the colorism in the Proud Family, which is something that is talked about quite a lot on YouTube. You guys can just search the colorism of That's So Raven, not That's So Raven, the colorism of the Proud Family, and then there'll be numerous videos that pop up. That's why I never really made one on it, because I feel like there just wasn't a reason for me to, because so many other people have done it already. But what they did with Loca is very similar to what they did with Dejanay. Now, where I'm getting with this is that when it came to both of them having a crush, you know, Loca had a crush on Eddie, and you know, Dejanay had a crush on Sticky. Wow, both of them were constantly just throwing themselves at these two guys that weren't interested in them at all. Both of them were, you know, bigger than their crushes, and they used that to their advantage. And it was a whole freaking mess. It was a whole freaking mess. And the worst thing about Loca, as I say about Dejanay too, is that she was not likable. She was not likable whatsoever. I don't like either of these characters. I can't stand either of them because one, they're just both terrible people. As Loka is just a bully. The way she treats people is completely unacceptable. And Dejanay was just fake. Dejanay was just rude, okay? And then she hated it when the table got turned on her. Dejanay was just terrible. And it's a problem that the two most unlikable characters in these series are of darker skin. That's the main issue with this right here. That's one thing that just really bothers me a lot. When I look back and analyze a lot of early 2000s media, specifically when it comes to, you know, like black media, is that a lot of these shows have colorism issues. A lot of them have a lot of colorism issues where they literally would pick on the dark-skinned girls, or they literally would push the dark-skinned girls back, and they would literally be having them struggling, and they always be the duffs in their friend groups and things like that. That's just one thing that always really bothers me when I go back and look at all these old series. Like, as much as I love That's So Raven, this is just something that I can't ignore, okay? And none of your shows from your childhood, none of these shows from the past are perfect. Like, people say things about they don't make shows like they used to. No, I'm actually glad that they don't make shows like they used to, because we can go back and fix a lot of these problems with our new works that we are making now. Like, that's why all these little Kenya Bears and stuff like that, I don't support it. I just can't. And me pretending that there was no colorism in this series contributes to the problem, okay? Because somebody was trying to say that I wasn't acknowledging the colorism in the Proud Family, and I was. It's just other people covered that topic before I did. But That's So Raven, it just really frustrated me because, like, I see it as a problem. Other people see it as an issue too. And for you to tell me that it's not right and that I'm doing too much really pisses me off, okay? I just had to throw that little sidebar thing in there because that really highly upsetted me. But that is it for today's video. Today's a bit of a shorter one, okay? This was just a bit of a shorter outline because there really wasn't much to dissect about Loka's character. She was just a mean bully. And she showed in and out from time to time. She was just there to pick on Raven, and that's it. That was her only purpose in this series, and I found that very weird. It's very weird. But thank you guys for watching this video so much. If you enjoyed it, please consider joining my Patreon at harriyannahook. I have multiple different tiers. The lowest one is $1. The most expensive one is $5. I made it pretty affordable. If you guys would like to buy merch from me, my merch is at harriyannahook.com. Please also follow my merch's shop on Instagram at harriyannahook. If you guys would like to follow me on everything is just Harriyanna. I am on Tumblr, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, Wattpad. Everything is just Harriyanna. And last but not least, I have a web series called The Progenies. Please go and support that. I would deeply appreciate it. I will have our pilot link down below, and I will also have our Instagram page link down below. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and have a good night.
Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtime. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA, the Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay.